let me get that introduction. If we are no longer road, no sell destruction. You was so in love, you weren't gonna tell me nothing. Let me get this clear, cause I had no idea.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ray Baby's Realm, and today we're going to be talking about the infamous Bantu knots. If you have been on your natural hair journey for years now, you already know the struggle when it comes to Bantu knot twist outs. I already know that it has caused a lot of broken hearts. Me personally, the very first time I tried to wear Bantu knots was when I was in high school. I saw it online. I was like, oh my gosh, girls without heat. And of course, there were like a lot of white girls at the time doing it. So they would like make their hair really, really wet, and then it would just dry overnight, and then boom, curls without heat. But little did I know that drenching my hair like that and then just waking up in the morning was a no-go. It was 8 a.m. I was in high school, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do to save my hair? And this was at the time that like I had a lot of damaged hair. So doing twist outs was the only way I could wear my natural hair at the time without looking crazy. And I could do nothing, spent all that time, and it went down the drain, and I had to just wear my hair in a bun. So I feel like we see a lot of videos on how to do Bantu knots, but we don't get any videos on what absolutely not to do when you're doing your Bantu knots. So I figured, why not make a video on it? So let's go ahead and jump into what not to do and what to specifically do when you're doing your Bantu knots. So the first thing that I do, okay, of course you want to have freshly washed hair, but you do not want your hair to be drenched. You do not want to do your Bantu knots on absolutely wet hair unless you have a hair dryer you can sit under, or you just have absolutely a whole bunch of time to kill and you're gonna keep your Bantu knots in for a week, because I guarantee you your hair is not going to be dry the next day if you do your Bantu knots while they're absolutely like wet. It's just, it's not going to happen. I stretch my hair the day before, and I wear it in like little twists because I don't want to blow dry my hair. You can blow dry your hair out and then do the style, but typically I try to use as little heat as possible because my hair is blonde. So I have to take extra care to make sure that I'm not damaging my hair any further. So I just typically stretch it out, let it dry for a little bit, and then when I take it out, if it's still a little bit damp, I go ahead and take my t-shirt and I just kind of like wring it out, dry it out, and then I'll go and I'll get like a brush or something because my hair's already detangled from doing the stretch method the night before. So I just take my brush and I brush through my hair and I make sure there's no kinks. You want your hair to be absolutely detangled when you're doing this style. So brush it out, you know, put your hair up, and then products. You have to be careful with how much water content there is in your products that you're using. You can use a conditioner, but just know the water concentration, you're still putting moisture back into your hair. And remember, the more wet your hair is, the longer it's going to take to dry. So typically I like to use a conditioner, but right now I have the Wet Line Extreme product, so that's what I typically use for this. Be mindful that gel can sometimes be flaky when you take your hair out, but this one is really, really good because it's not prone to flake too much depending on how much you use, because it's still gel at the end of the day. So I use a gel, and I use the Honey Hydrate by Camille Rose on my roots. So I do not add any type of water to my roots. Like because if them roots is wet honey, I don't care. It's gonna ruin the whole style if the roots are wet. I haven't tried just using oil yet because I don't know. I just feel like that's a little too, you need some type of moisture so that your hair can dry and form into that shape. So I'll put the Honey Hydrate on my roots, but then I'll take the Wet Line Extreme and really focus it on my ends. You want to make sure you hydrate your ends when you're doing your Bantu knots, because if they come out dry and crackly, it's not going to be cute. So always make sure that when you're doing your Bantu knots, you take your section, be aware of the size of your Bantu knots. The smaller the Bantu knot, the tighter the curl. If you want to come out here looking like Shirley Temple, do a smaller Bantu knot. But if you want big, voluminous curls, then do a bigger Bantu knot. But know that the bigger the Bantu knot, the longer it will take to dry. And the bigger the Bantu knot, the less definition. Sometimes I still struggle with finding that balance of big curls and definition, because it's still natural curly hair, and the thicker your hair, my hair's thick, so if there's not enough tension on the hair, there's not going to be enough definition. It's still going to come out looking like a little puff ball. So I still struggle with that. As you can see, there's still a couple areas that are fluffy, but I did this in less than 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So big Bantu knots, you get the job done quick, but it will take longer to dry, and that is a risk that you run. Next, Do not twist your Bantu knots towards your face. When you're flat ironing your hair, when you're doing curls, you always do it away because that's how you want it to frame your face. So make sure you're twisting your Bantu knots away from your face. Don't just twist it all the way down. Make sure that you are detangling as you twist. It depends on how big the hair section is. If it's a big section of hair that you're doing a Bantu knot on, then you need to detangle as you go, because if it tangles while you're doing your Bantu knots, you're going to look stupid. So try your best not to just rip and run through your hair as you're doing the Bantu knot. Be intentional about your Bantu knots. So as you twist it down, don't let go of the hair when you do the Bantu knot, because it's just not going to be a cohesive look. Try to hang on to the Bantu knot as you go. You can wrap it around your finger, the end of your finger. Like when you do that last little curl at the bottom, it's wrapped around your finger, so keep it there. And then you hold your hand on the Bantu knot and you just wrap. Lift your hand off the Bantu knot, wrap, press it back down. You know, it's a constant motion. Like, you know, you wrap it around your finger and then round. Go around, press it back down. Go around, press it back down. You want to hold it in place. Do not start off your Bantu knots really, really tight, because if you do it too tight, you're not going to have enough space around the root of your hair to get the ends of your hair around, and it's going to be too much tension on your hair. Start off loose, not the actual twist of the hair, but when you're twisting it around, do it loosely and then tighten it as you get to the end. You'll feel the tension on your hair. And when you get to the front of your hair, that's when the parting becomes important. If you want a middle part, make a nice clean middle part, so when it comes time to separate, you're not causing too much frizz because your parts are already nice and clean in the front. If you want a side part, make sure your side part is nice and clean. So you get to the front, that's when the parting really matters. And typically when I get to the front, I do smaller Bantu knots because I want a lot of definition. Depending on where you're going, to the back to the front, your front has less time to dry because it's the last section of hair that you did. So I typically do smaller ones in the front so that they don't need as much time to dry. Then once you're done, once you finish doing all your Bantu knots, always wear something on your head. I don't care if you have a silk pillow or nothing, because them Bantu knots come unscrewed at night and then you're gonna be upset in the morning. So tie it down. Tie it down with something, a bonnet. Yeah, that's cute. But if you want to be safe, tie it down, wrap it up, go to sleep. Now, if you know you did your hair at 5 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm really talking to myself. But if you know you did it late at night, please do not expect it to be dry in the morning. Like, you have to get the timing down. You need to do it in the afternoon or 7 p.m. at the latest if you want it to be dry 8 a.m. in the morning. So don't wait too late to do your hair and expect it to be dry and ready in the morning, unless you have a hair dryer or you have a hair dryer you can sit underneath. Also, before you take down your Bantu knots, make sure that they're dry. Touch your roots and see if they're dry. Touch your hair, and if it's not, take your blow dryer. I typically take it on cool, but you can do it on warm. It depends on how much heat exposure you want. So make sure it's dry before you take it down, because there's no going back once you take your hair down and it's not dry enough. There's no going back. When you're taking it down, do not take down your Bantu knots with dry fingers. That will cause more frizz. I mean, you can if you like the frizz. If you don't care about the frizz, fine. I really don't care about frizz because I think it makes it look more natural, more cute, more fluffy. But I still put some type of oil. You can use Jamaican black castor oil. If you want something lighter, you can do African wild growth oil like I have. And yeah, you just take that and you unscrew the Bantu knot. Don't just rip it out. Don't just pull it down. You want to take care of the curls. So you unscrew it. Remember, we twisted it away from our face. So we want to unscrew it the other direction and we want to take it down. And then don't comb through the hair. You're going to frizz it up. Take it from the root and see where it naturally separates and just pull it apart. Let it come apart on its own. Also, if you want to stretch your hair, you can use the blow dryer. Try to use a nozzle so you can control the frizz. I didn't have mine. I couldn't find mine, but typically I do have like the thin nozzle so I can control where the air is blowing. And then, you know, pick out your hair and make sure you don't have parts in your hair. You want your hair to look nice and full. You don't want people to see where you are parting your hair. So take that pick it out at the roots. Don't pick your ends because that's going to mess up your curls. So pick your hair out at the roots, fluff it, you know. And if you want to wear bangs, I have to cut mine because they overgrew, but I just cut them. Again, your girl's hair is growing, thank God. But yeah, take it out, fluff it out, swing it around, you know what I'm saying? And just style it how you see fit. But yeah, this ain't my best one or whatever. I'm not gonna lie. I just did this as like a stretch method for when I do my braids. But you see how cute it is when you just doing it as a stretch method real quick. I'm gonna put the ones where I actually wanted it to be like really defined and cute. Like, I'll put them right here. But yeah, reality versus expectations. You know, everybody expects their twist out, their Bantu knot style to come out like we always see the beauty gurus do. But you know, they don't be telling you what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still gotta figure it out on your own. So I really hope that this helped. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. Click it. Did you click it? Thank you. But that girl, thank you. I'll take that subscription. Thank you. But anyway, guys, stay tuned. I'll be coming out with more videos. You know that, every Friday. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around this long, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.
I look nice when you open my mind for you. Don't wanna wait on it tonight, I wanna get